Daddy Yankee, he called me in a couple of minutes. He's like, how about 50? I was like, how about we're gonna sign the contract? Because like now I'm getting nervous. Like, because we're talking about 50 dancers.
All right, so the following clip is from my interview with Greg Chapkis. He is a huge choreographer from the Ukraine who kind of grew up in the Bay and now works with Latin artists doing hip hop. Crazy mix, but it's a good story about how he got to work with the major artist Daddy Yankee and just what the ins and outs are of handling that level of production. So check it out. How did that relationship start with Daddy Yankee?
Daddy Yankee. Well, it's all started with with one director. His name is Marlon Pena. He's from Miami, and he actually hit up my wife. And I want to talk to Greg. Please connect me. So she called me. She sent me the number, and I was like, "No, it's not a music video. I don't know, like Miami." Yeah. Like, I didn't even call back because I was already busy. Like at that time, I think
were you
I was
already
traveling.
doing?
I was already doing artist, and I was doing a lot of traveling, like overseas, a lot of work, a lot of corporate jobs. Like Chapkis Dance Family does a lot of corporate events.
Got it.
So we were really
when they have like the Microsoft convention or something like that.
Exactly. Because it's really easy to hire somebody like me that has a army of people that already have material, visuals, ideas. I can put together in 2-3 days something that you would do with professional dancers for a couple of weeks.
Right.
So he called her again. He's like, Greg didn't call me back. Like, can you please tell him it's really important? It's a big deal. So she's like, look, you have to call him. So I was like, okay, I'll call him. And he's like, Greg, I follow you for a while. You are like, I love what you do with a lot of people. Like, I love, like, I've been watching Chapkis Dance Family. The fact that you do all those visuals, informations, and the way you guys move and the way you tell the story, like, it's incredible. And I always were looking forward, if I get an opportunity to have like a hip hop crew, like I already told myself I'm gonna use you. So here I am. Yankee won a hip hop crew to do this song, Con Calma. And I was like, okay, sounds good. I was like, let's do it. And he's like, well, how many people you can bring? I was like, I can bring as many you can. He's like, well, how about 40? And I was like, well, 40 in how many days? Like, he's like, 3 days. I was like, okay, then it has to be Chapkis. Like, it has to be my company. In 3 days, I can pull this off, but it has to be my people. And then he called me in a couple of minutes. He's like, how about 50? And I was like, how about we're going to sign the contract? Because like now I'm getting nervous. Like, because we're talking about 50 dancers. You're paying each dancer. Like it's a lot of money. Like I'm start questioning, is it real?
Yeah, like, because you don't want to go out of pocket, start buying flights or whatever.
No. Yeah, it was just like so out there, it's just a lot bigger than what I thought it's going to be. So I kind of like hit up all my people here in LA, and we came together, and I put together Con Calma,
Wow.
and we did a video, and that's actually the first video I remember. It was a lot of hiccups because it was, we have, he came with some of his Miami people. He hired a lot of LA people that he never worked with.
For the production crew?
For the production crew, yes. And I remember how we were shooting, and I was telling him, I was like, if you wanted just to shoot the whole routine, you have to have transitions going from this formation to this formation. You cannot just keep like switch next group. We're not gonna be able to connect this.
Yeah.
And I was right, So
but of course.
we shoot. It was an amazing shoot. It took forever, but I was right. He called me in a couple of days, and he's like, listen, I'm watching the footage, and I really feel like I feel exactly what you were saying, what you were telling me. Let's do it one more time. And I was like, oh my God, like.
To reshoot the same video?
Reshoot the same video a second time.
Wow.
So we can have those transitions and do it right, And
the whole reason for the reshoot was because they didn't listen to you on the transitions?
Well, it wasn't just that. It was like other things, For example, emoji. I was actually emoji on the first day.
Okay.
Because it's not a completely long story, but I wasn't thinking it's the real deal, that we're actually gonna do emoji. I thought it was like a joke.
Yeah.
But anyways, it happened. So the next day, I have to put together different people because some of my people couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I put together a different group, put it in 2 days. We shoot a second time, and that video was, I call it reggaeton tsunami. It was like went crazy. It went crazy. I posted this video with my phone that I record the rehearsal, on my YouTube channel. And I can just see YouTube spinning, like every time you refresh, there's like a couple hundred. I never see anything like that. It was the craziest effect. People really like that video, What I like about Yankee, because I remember talking to him, and he wanted me to do the hip hop. Like, he's like, because I was like, do you want to like a Latin flavor? He's like, I wanted hip hop. I wanted the hip hop crew.
Right.
And I'm,
because he was crossing over too. He wasn't, Daddy Yankee was crossing over to like mainstream. Yeah.
He wanted to be different, than other dance videos. So we give them a little bit of different.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, it was like a
reggaeton call. A 3-day call to do a music video with 50 people.
Yeah,
and then it was really again.
Yeah, it was really last minute. But something that I know about myself, I work really good under pressure.
Yeah.
So
same.
I don't know how, but even right now, I get a phone call. If it's something big, 3-4 days, I'm gonna get it done, and it's gonna be done good.
Yeah.
Just that pressure just puts me on the next. It has that switch for me.
Me too. I was just talking with my buddy who produced the Kanye Vulture show, and they got the call for it on a Monday, and the show was on that Friday.
What?
To produce the whole thing, and it didn't get confirmed till like Tuesday.
That's crazy.
And then they sold out everything, putting the whole concert together, and it's like,
that's insane.
In this industry, you have to be ready.
Yeah.
It's nice when you have preparation time.
Yeah.
But part of why people get paid a lot is because they can't pull off miracles.
Yeah,
and that's how it is. People expect it, right? On big budgets, it's like, figure it out, Greg. 50 people, you got it. Yeah.
But I love that. I love that challenge. Like, I love to feel like, I have this big project. Like, where do I start? Like, okay, I need to find the dancers. I need to find a rehearsal space. I need to make sure they all send their information. Like, it kind of gets me right into the zone, So I'm ready for stuff like that.
Well, this is something that I like to share with my audience a lot too, that if you want to move up, you have to be the person that loves more responsibility. Mm-hmm. That's it. Because that's all moving up is.
Yeah.
Moving up means you move up in responsibility.
Yeah.
Right? So it's when I know somebody can go from being just a grip to being a gaffer to being a producer. It's like, then I can land a whole project and hand it to them if I know that they can organize it.
Yeah.
Right? So every time you're saying it, you're like, I love the challenge.
Yeah, I love it.
Right? It sounds like somebody you would want to hire. It's like, if I got called.
And the bigger, the better, Like, for example, couple of weeks after we did Con Calma, it was another video, Kiteri Palanta.
Okay.
And it was kind of same director, so he hit me up and he's like...
Was it Jesse?
No, it was Marlon.
Okay.
Yeah, and he hit me up and he's like, listen, for this one I have to probably find a coordinator because I'm thinking that we want to make it like a battle scene, like You Got Served or something, like one of those dance movies.
Okay.
So we need like a lot of different crews and like we need to organize it in the story, how it's gonna, and I'm just like, you need to organize it? I can do it. Like, this is like, I'm waiting for like a big challenge. Like, this is something I can totally do for you, So, and pulled it off. Everybody loved it. But for me, it was just like, coordinator, like, give it to me. I'm just waiting for somebody just like, Greg, there's going to be a huge movie with Brad Pitt and everybody else. It's going to be the biggest dance movie. Yeah. And you have to do it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm waiting for something like that. So then I'm like stressed again. I guess I like to have a little bit of like stress and drama
man,
in
this
my
is
life.
light work, man. That was nothing.
For me to like just sit and wait and plan and take my time. No, like I'm ready now. Like, give it to me. Like, sometimes one project can change your life. Like Con Calma.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say definitely special. Definitely changed a lot for me. It definitely switched me to work with a lot of reggaeton artists.
Yeah.
Yankee was the most consistent artist I worked with for like 6 years. And that was an amazing ride, with him.
Absolutely.
But I mean, besides him, other artists started hiring me as well. So it really,
people,
it was a turning point.
Who was the first major one you did?
From Latin?
Yeah, well, just when you moved here from Ukraine and you were building Chapkis Dance, what was your first big artist that you choreographed?
So it was in Australia.
Okay.
I choreographed a music video here for Jessica Mauboy. At that time, I think she was a runner-up or a winner of Australia Got Talent.
Okay.
And so she was really, really big in Australia. And I did music video here. One of the directors from the Bay Area, she hired me because she knew I have that company, and then she asked me to fly to Australia and direct, which is I didn't know I was directing. I thought I'm choreographing. Direct award show, ARIA show, which is like the biggest award show in Australia.
It's so like when I got Grammys there, or something.
Exactly. So when I got there, and they're all like with the notes, like what, what's the plan? And I was like, okay, should I act like I don't know what I'm doing, or should I just make it happen? I made it happen. That was my first like huge like choreographing, directing, auditioning dancers, just putting it all together like job.
That's amazing.
And it was a long time. It was like 2009, man.
And it's funny because this is a topic that comes up a lot with my guests. Same thing with my buddy who did the Kanye one. He's because he started out I think with a Chance the Rapper or somebody, and same thing. He was like a music video director, and they were like, yeah, no, you should do the concert. Just figure it out. Learn to do the lights. Just do it. And you're like, all right, I guess I'll do it. So much of moving up in this industry is just being willing to figure it out. Like if I do the whole show, Greg, and you're like,
I would do it.
Okay.
I would do it. Yeah. It doesn't matter if like with Yankee, it was a couple situations when it's like, do the whole show. Like, I remember it was like Kalibosh that he just called me and he's like, okay, well, you have a producer right here. You guys check it out. But Greg, just do what you did and, with your crew, America Got Talent, like do some big dance. Like, I believe you're going to kill it.
And that's incredible. See,
that's crazy.
The fact that you made him believe that, right? That he felt confident that you would figure it out. That's what keeps you being hired.
I didn't ask, nothing. It was he's just like, I really think you can do it. I did it. It was probably one of the most memorable live performances that I did, just because I got the chance to direct it.
How is Daddy Yankee in person? Working with him?
Oh, he's such a good person. You can feel even by talking to him. Yeah, he has a good heart, easygoing. I love the fact that every music video or every project he would do together, he would come and say hi to dancers and thank them. He would shake everybody's hand, like how sometimes you work with the artists and
they're just in and out.
They don't really care,
right.
who's dancing next to them or what is going on. They just want to get this done. For them, it's like a job,
Yeah.
With him, it's like you can tell that he really care. He really care about like the people around him, and he cared about the dancers, and like he was one of those people that would be like, if I want to bring my dancers from San Francisco to Miami, do it, because even though we have in-house dancers, for example, like in VMA or Grammys or Latin Grammys or those Latin award shows, he would still fly my people.
That's respect. That means that he cares that you care about these dancers. And getting
so he would still fly San Francisco people, so he need to fly them and he need to get them hotel, but even though that he can just get the one in house for free.
Yeah. That's good. It shows a lot of respect.
Yeah. And well, that's why I love working with him the most, because he just wanna be the best. He want everything the best. He want everything to look perfect. And he don't count the money. He just, for him, it's more about he want a best show, best video, best work, best dancers.
I mean, that's what real art is about, because technically speaking, that is the reward for the artist. Is knowing that we created the best thing we could possibly create. That's the rich feeling. The money is just to pay for it. All right, but for me, I'm happier. I prefer to spend more money on equipment than on a nicer place. Because I want my stuff to look better. You know what I mean? The nicer place will come when it comes, but not at the expense of my videos looking worse. That's a real passion of creating. Because he could get away with less. Right? He could save that money, spend it for himself, buy a new Lamborghini, but get cheap dancers, and would still probably sell the same tickets. But but he's known for that effort.
And I love, because of that, he's definitely my favorite artist to work with. And
Which one's the worst? No. No, I feel you. It's energizing when you work with people that care, because you make each other look good. Like how you said you want the dancers that make you look good.
100%.
You make Daddy Yankee look good. He makes you look good.
Yes, 100%. No, I love the fact that he loved dance and he want to have dance videos, and and he was open for something new and some new ideas, and and I'm grateful to work with directors like Marlon that would do it the vision. You know what I mean? Like he would take a risk. Like I would mention something, and he's like, okay, I like that. Let's do it. You know, even though it's so ambitious, but like, let's try it. Let's make it happen. You know?
Yeah. It's a lot of trust and chances in art, right?
Yeah.
Like at some point, no matter how good somebody's resume is, you still have to look them in the eye and say, okay, let's go for it. You know, and you don't know, it's not always guaranteed to work, but it's like you got to trust your dancers, they got to trust you. You know, there is a think about even when like dancers carry an artist on stage, and they're holding the multi-millionaire there. If they let go and they fall, that's it. That's the whole thing, right? There has to be that respect.
They have to trust the dancers. They have to trust the process.